What if I told you that 95% of people believe they are not creative? It sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, research shows that creativity is often hidden in plain sight. In fact, creativity isn't something you're born with, it's a skill you can develop. Studies show that anyone can unlock their creative potential if they know where to start. Here's the truth. Most people follow the same old advice, like, just keep practicing, or think outside the box. But what if the real key to creativity isn't about working harder or being different? What if it's about doing the unexpected? What if creativity thrives under pressure? Or, what if saying no to certain ideas actually makes you more creative? In this guide, I'll show you some unconventional strategies that will help you get more creative than ever before. You'll discover why limits can spark genius, why perfection is holding you back, and how your dreams could be the next big breakthrough. Ready to unlock your creativity? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The power of playing with limits. Sometimes, the best way to unlock creativity is by limiting yourself. It might sound counterintuitive, but restrictions can actually spark new ideas. Think about it. When you only have 3 colors to work with or an hour to finish a project, your brain starts looking for fresh solutions. A study from the University of Toronto found that constraints push people to think more creatively. In fact, 72% of participants in a creative challenge performed better when given limits. It's like being given a puzzle with fewer pieces. Your brain has to connect dots in new ways. For example, try this. Create a piece of art using only 3 colors or write a story in exactly 50 words. This simple experiment forces you to think outside the box. One of the most famous creative minds, Pablo Picasso, often set limitations on his own work. He'd limit his color palette to just 1 shade for an entire period of painting, like his blue period. The results were striking. Limiting your tools also helps you focus on what really matters. When you don't have the freedom to use every option available, you refine your skills in using what you have. The limitations become a springboard for new, unexpected ideas. Creativity often blooms when you're forced to get creative with what's right in front of you. Chapter 2. Dismantling the perfection myth. You've heard it a million times. Good things come to those who wait. But the truth is, perfection can kill creativity. The more you chase after the perfect idea, the less likely you are to produce anything at all. Author Anne Lamott in her book Bird by Bird says, perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor. It's that inner critic that keeps you stuck in one place, afraid to make mistakes. In fact, studies show that the pursuit of perfection can actually decrease your performance. A study by the University of Toronto found that perfectionists were less likely to finish creative tasks, often abandoning projects because they were never good enough. In other words, waiting for the perfect idea is often a form of procrastination. The key is to embrace good enough and let your work evolve. Creativity is a messy process, full of false starts and imperfect moments. But that's where the magic happens. Think about how much time you spend reworking ideas just to make them flawless. Imagine how much you could achieve if you stopped worrying about mistakes and focused on just creating. Chapter 3. Synaptic fireworks. Sparking unlikely connections. Some of the most groundbreaking ideas come from mixing things that don't belong together. Steve Jobs called this ability connecting the dots. The brain naturally works by making associations, but when you combine unrelated concepts, that's when things get interesting. The ability to connect disparate ideas is a key trait of highly creative people. Take a look at some of the world's most innovative breakthroughs. The invention of the airplane happened when the Wright brothers connected ideas from engineering, birds, and aerodynamics. Or consider the Post-it note, which was born from a failed experiment to make a stronger adhesive. Unlikely combinations of knowledge often lead to new breakthroughs. To make unlikely connections work for you, try something simple. Take a topic you're passionate about and combine it with something unrelated. For example, how could you mix science and art? Or history and technology? By expanding your knowledge into different areas, you give your brain more dots to connect. It's not about sticking to one field, it's about exploring others. Don't forget to subscribe for more creative insights and tips that will help you think outside the box. Chapter 4. Dreamscaping. Harnessing your nighttime creativity. We often forget that our minds never truly rest. In fact, some of the best creative ideas come not when we're awake, but when we're asleep. A study by the University of California found that sleep boosts creativity by helping us make new connections between unrelated ideas. Dreams, in particular, are a goldmine for creative inspiration. Famous scientists and artists have credited dreams with their most significant discoveries. Paul McCartney, for example, woke up with the melody for Yesterday in his head after dreaming it. And the idea for the periodic table came to Dmitry Mendeleev in a dream. These examples show how our subconscious can work overtime to solve problems and generate ideas while we're not even conscious. To tap into this creative well, try keeping a dream journal by your bed. When you wake up, write down whatever you remember from your dreams, no matter how bizarre. You'd be surprised how often these strange, seemingly random thoughts can lead to breakthrough moments in your work. Our minds work in ways we don't always understand, but sometimes, that's exactly what makes them creative. Chapter 5. The rituals of the unconscious genius. Great minds often rely on certain routines or rituals to get into their creative zone. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. Albert Einstein, for example, took regular walks in nature to clear his mind and spark fresh ideas. Writers like Haruki Murakami have very specific rituals, such as waking up early, drinking coffee, and writing in isolation for hours each day. Having a routine can signal to your brain that it's time to be creative. It could be as simple as lighting a specific candle, drinking a cup of tea, or listening to a particular playlist. The ritual itself doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Over time, your brain will associate these actions with a creative mindset. If you're struggling to build your own creative routine, start small. Dedicate 10 minutes each morning to free writing, sketching, or brainstorming ideas. The consistency will help you tap into a deeper flow of creativity. In fact, a study from the University of California found that people who have a regular creative routine tend to generate more ideas and solutions than those who don't. Chapter 6. The art of saying no to ideas. In a world full of possibilities, saying no can be just as important as saying yes. We're often bombarded with a flood of ideas, but focusing on too many at once can dilute your creativity. Learning to say no to ideas allows you to focus on what truly matters and refine your efforts. This doesn't mean rejecting creativity altogether, it means being selective about where you direct your energy. A study by the University of Chicago found that focusing on fewer, more meaningful ideas leads to higher quality work. It's about saying no to distractions, unnecessary commitments, and even some good ideas to make room for your best ones. Try this. Pick one project and dedicate all your energy to it for a week. Avoid jumping to new ideas or side projects. You'll be amazed at how much deeper you can go when you concentrate your efforts. Sometimes, saying no is the most creative decision you can make. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more creative hacks that will help you take your skills to the next level.